Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at what's the most commonly used lookup function inside of Excel, and that's the VLOOKUP function. And specifically we're going to look in this example of how we come up with this value here. Now this value here is basically calculated by multiplying the value per pound of a particular crop times the weight that is listed here. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete these items right now so that we can start over. Now again, if you just have a few items like we do here, you could easily manually type in each one of the formulas. I could type equals C2 times and then look up the value of an apple crop down here, which is in B20, and hit enter, and I would get the value. But there's two problems with doing it that way. One is looking this value up manually would be prone to errors. You might accidentally type in B21 or something like that. And the second thing is that if you have more than just a few items, manually typing in each one of these values is going to take a huge amount of time. So instead of manually inserting that value into that equation, what we're going to do is we're going to use the VLOOKUP function. And the VLOOKUP function allows you to compare a value to a table and then return a corresponding value based on a match. So in other words, we're going to create a formula that's going to look in column B, in this case B2. And then it's going to look down here in this table, and in the first row, the first column of the table, it's going to find a matching value. And when it finds that matching value, it's going to return the value in the second column of the table. So let's see how that actually will work here. I'm going to go ahead and type in equals, because we always begin our equations with an equal sign, and then VLOOKUP and a parentheses. Now the VLOOKUP function again has three different parameters in it. The first parameter that you're going to use is going to be the cell that has the value that you're looking up. In this case, it's B2. B2 contains the value that I want to look up. And then I type a comma. And then you need to go ahead and enter in the lookup table, which in this case is this table right down here. A19 to B22. When it finds a match to B2, it finds the match to apples in the first column of this table, it's going to return the corresponding value in the next column, or I should say, in this case, the next column. Your lookup table can actually have as many columns in it as you want, and the value you return in the table is determined by the third parameter. And in this case, we're typing in the number 2, which means basically match the value in B2 to a value in the first column of the table, and then return the value in the second column of the table. And when I press enter, you can see that it returns the value 10 cents. And I actually can't autofill this down because this needs to be an absolute reference. We don't want it to update. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the dollar signs there. And that shortcut, by the way, is F4. If you highlight a reference and press F4, it'll put the dollar signs in for you. And then I can go ahead and drag that down, and you can see it put the appropriate value that it looked up into column D. And then all we have to do is multiply that value that was looked up times the weight of the cell, or the weight of the crop, which is in cell C2 in this case. And you'll see we get the value 300. And then again, I'll autofill that down, and we now get the actual value. So VLOOKUP function, very simple to use, but it provides a very valuable, very useful tool in returning values for you. And again, this worksheet and a handout on the VLOOKUP function is available with the course materials for this class. And you can find a link to that in the description of this video. I'll see you in the next video and in that video we're going to start talking about some of the list management tools in Microsoft Excel. We're going to talk about the sorting and the filtering tools specifically. So I'll see you then.